Oh, well, people can come forward. That's a good thing. You can all come. If it's a good thing. Okay. So I'm discussing something about Bhagavad Gita. This is Bhagavad Gita. But what I'm going to do is, to understand Bhagavad Gita, we should know some concepts. Because Bhagavad Gita is difficult to understand. Krishna is speaking many things, many accomplishments by one task. That is Bhagavad Gita. And what is the message of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita begins with there are 18 chapters, 700 verses, we all know. What is the message of the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita? Okay, if I ask you, what do you understand by first chapter? Why first chapter is there, Bhagavad Gita? Why it's there? Setting the scene, that's the first chapter? Or contents? Yeah, they're setting the scene, yeah. So what's happening in first chapter? Arjuna has denied to fight. That's okay, that's obvious. But what is the message behind the first chapter? Can anybody tell me? What is the message? What do we learn from that?
Consequences of making dharma.
Okay. Why Arjuna is denied to fight? That's a question. Why Arjuna is denying to fight? Why?
He's giving some reasons around compassion, enjoyment.
Okay, that's okay. Is there any, one sentence you can summarize? Why Arjuna is denying to fight? Everybody know, no? Arjuna denies to fight, no? Krishna says you fight, Arjuna denies. Why? What's the reason? There are many reasons, but what is the most important reason which Arjuna has in his mind? Does not want to fight against his family? That's sort of one superficial reason. That's not the base thing. I mean to say, I can ask you a question. Why he does not want to fight against his family? Got my point? So Arjuna has a confusion in his mind. And what is that confusion? What is that confusion? Arjuna is considering morality over devotion. He's confused. For him, he's putting dharma over bhakti. That's what his problem is. He's having a misconception. He thinks dharma is more important than bhakti. That's the idea. That is why he's giving so many excuses. If I fight, then women will be, males will be destroyed, women will become unmarried, women will become widows, and then they will become polluted. So many reasons like that, no? And then he's saying, how should I shoot arrows on my guru, on my parents? This is against dharma. So Arjuna can't understand. That is, if Krishna is saying fight, he should fight without considering his dharma. Got my point? But he is probably more attached to dharma than to Krishna. That's his problem. And Krishna diagnosed this problem. And that is why Krishna began Gita by the knowledge of soul. Second chapter, Krishna starts speaking about soul and body. This seems absurd. Because if Arjuna is saying, Krishna, should I fight or not? Krishna would have said, okay, fight. Finish now. Story finish. But if suppose I go to somebody and if I ask somebody whether I should go to Portland or not, what answer expect? Yes or no? But from Arjuna's perspective, Krishna seems to be mad. Because it's a simple question. Whether I should fight or not. And Krishna is speaking, your body or not soul. This is funny, no? There is no answer. This is crazy answer. But Krishna is a best doctor. Krishna could see that his problem is not fighting and fighting. That's not the problem, to fight or not. Problem is something deep. He is denying to fight because the problem is that he's considering morality more important than devotion. He's considering his own past activities more important than orders of Krishna. Is it? When Krishna says you do, we should keep shut and do. That's all. But Arjuna is not doing like that. So Krishna has to somehow make Arjuna understand that you see devotion is superior to dharma. And if he understands that, automatically he'll fight. Is it? Because his devotion, Arjuna's devotion is now for Arjuna is to fight. It's Krishna's order. And that is why can you tell me what's the most important verse of Bhagavad Gita? What is the most important verse? Most important, you don't know? Yeah, Sarvdharman Paritajye Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Abandon all religion and surrender unto me. My question is, how do we know that this is the most important verse? We accept it blindly? Somebody told us, why should I accept? Is it written in Bhagavad Gita this is the most important verse? Is Krishna telling, now Atha Arjuna Mahatpurnam Shlokam Vadami, and then he speaks? He doesn't speak like that. It's continuing. So how do we know it's the most important verse? Some people told and we accepted, some acharyas told and we accepted. No, why should we do that? We should know the logic. How did they find that this is the most important verse? Anybody can say anything, no? So now you can understand why this verse is most important verse. Sarv dharman paritajya. Abandon all religion and surrender unto me. Why this is most important verse? Now you got the answer? I have told you the answer. Because the disease of Arjuna was, he was putting dharma over devotion. That was the first chapter. And the solution for it is abandon religion and surrender unto me. Devotion is above religion. This is the final verse, 18th chapter. You got my point? That is why this verse is the most important verse. Because it is dealing with the disease of Arjuna. That abandon religion and do devotion. That is more important. Sar dharman paritajye mahamekam sharanam vraja. But to bring Arjuna to this point, to make him understand, Krishna has to speak entire Gita. Got my point? So first chapter begins with a disease, morality over devotion. Gita ends with a medicine, devotion over morality. Okay, what is in between? That's Bhagavad Gita. So what's there in between? Krishna starts his discourse in second chapter by knowledge of soul and body. That is what is second chapter about. Second chapter is about summary. Now the question is, okay, fine. Krishna first wants to make Arjuna understand. If Krishna wants to make him understand, you have to get beyond morality. He has to understand first. You have to get beyond body, no? Because morality is concerned with body and society. That's the idea. So second chapter gives the knowledge of soul. And Krishna says, your soul, you're not this body. What is the duty of soul? To serve me. Is it? Duty of body is to serve society. Duty of soul is to serve Krishna. And what is the service of Krishna now? Arjuna? You have to answer me. What is the service of Arjuna now? To fight. So, second chapter Gita should finish, but it doesn't. It doesn't. Krishna has told everything in second chapter. Is it? Krishna says, get up Arjuna and fight. Arjuna says, why? Because Arjuna, you're not this body, your soul. The soul is connected to me and it should follow my orders. My order is fight, therefore fight. Finish. But Krishna continues his Gita. Question is why? Why? Does Krishna want to speak, waste his time? No. There's some logic behind it. What is the name of third chapter? Anybody remembers? Karma Yoga. Now Krishna knows. I have told you, your body, you're not this soul. I have told you, okay, you also know your soul, you're not this body. But have you realized it? No. Is it? We have not got realization. That is why Krishna continues Bhagavad Gita, third chapter. Karma Yoga means put knowledge into action. That is Karma Yoga. Yoga means, Karma means action. Yoga means linking, no? Karma Yoga. So, second chapter, Krishna gives this knowledge of soul and body, but Krishna knows it is not easy to realize. To realize it, you need to put knowledge into action. For example, when we are in college, school, we had both theory and practical class. Is it? We had no lab and theory class. Why? You should have only theory class. Why lab? Because without laboratory, you can't understand theory. What you understand in class, you have to apply in the field. That makes sense, no? Similarly, just by understanding I am soul, I am not this body, just by hearing this, we'll not be able to realize it until unless we apply it in a laboratory. And you know what is a laboratory here? This entire word is a big lab. It's a big laboratory. This is a theory class. This is what I'm theory. But you're supposed to go out and then apply this knowledge in this big lab. Krishna has provided you such a big laboratory and so much opportunity to apply this knowledge. It depends how you see this word. For fools, this word is a dream, no? Enjoy. For wise people, this word is a place to learn and apply that knowledge. This is Bhagavad Gita's wisdom. This is called wisdom. So, this word helps us. People who are new to knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, they think this word is an obstacle. But it's not. It's an obstacle, but we can use this obstacle to learn. You understand? Just like husband and wife. For sometimes wife is an obstacle, no? To husband. Big obstacle. But it depends. You can get frustrated entire life, and keep on fighting. Another thing you can do, you can learn from your stupid wife to become tolerant, She can teach you how to become tolerant. I'm giving an example. Don't worry about that. Wife is not stupid, but you can learn. It depends what you do with things around you, how you use them. It is said in scriptures, everything in this world can be put to use. Every plant is a herb. Herb means medicine. Every plant is a medicine. Every stone is a jewel. Everything has a use. But it is sad that we don't have a person who can use everything. That's the point. We don't have a person who has knowledge how to use these things. That person is rare, no? So we think in the terms of this is not useful, this is useful, this is not useful, this is useful. Devotees don't think like that. This is good, this is bad. We don't think in terms of good and bad. Good and bad, people who thinks good and bad, people who believe in morals, no? Arjuna is thinking, no? Good and bad. Killing is bad. Killing Bhishma is bad. He's thinking in terms of good and bad. We also think like that, no? We take decisions like that in life. So we are learning from Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is mimicking our life. Okay, killing Bhishma is bad and not killing Bhishma is good. Not fighting is good. If I fight, this will bad things, good and bad, good and bad. But devotees do not think in good and bad because devotees understand that there is nothing good, nothing bad. The point is that we can use everything in service of Krishna. Even if bad thing, if you employ in service of Krishna, it becomes good. And a good thing, if it is not in service of Krishna, it's bad. As simple as that. No. For our understanding is whether you can use it or not use it. We think like that. Favorable, unfavorable. That's a policy. So for us, this word is good or bad? What do you say? This entire word is good or bad? Good? Bad? Okay, fine. For us, fine. From one level, we don't think it is good and bad. For us, this word is a place from which we can learn. We can learn from this word. But you should know how to learn. That's the point. You should know how to learn. And that is what is third chapter, Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is a technique, is an art which teaches you how to learn from those things which you perceive it as obstacle. Got my point? So for us, that might be for example, if you're driving a car and the road is not proper, no, you're driving and you can't drive. Road, there are so many bumps and so many stones, and your car is not, you can't drive it properly. Okay, so one person, he will get frustrated. He will shout on himself, "What is this nonsense road, and this is nonsense, government is nonsense." He can do that. Another person, he can say, well, this is a bad road. Let me use this bad road to increase my skills of driving. Is it? He can do that. So it depends how you think. That is third chapter. Third chapter is changing your perception. Changing your perception. Third chapter, Krishna is saying, don't think this word is good and bad. Think this is a big laboratory. What you learn in the class, apply that. For example, you are walking on the road. Now you have heard in the class, your soul, you are not this body. You are walking on the road and you pass by a McDonald's shop. McDonald's? Okay. And then you're passing, so you're just walking by and you get nice smell of pizza. It's okay, God. So, people who are immature, who have not read Gita, or you have read Gita but read theoretically, they will think, pizza smell. If he's a devotee, he will think, my God, it's illusion. No, I'm getting attracted to, you can get attracted to that smell, no? And I want pizza. But a wise person, what he'll think, who has read third chapter, he'll think, well, okay, it's a good smell. The smell is good. And if you're getting attracted to this smell, sometimes it can happen, no? I want pizza. Or if you go to India, chola bhatura, they make on nice chola bhatura. Everybody's Indian, they know. So sometimes you get attracted to all these things. This is food. They are objects which attract. So wise person thinks, well, okay, fine. I am getting attracted to this. All these things. Krishna is teaching me. Krishna is showing me that I have to work on myself. This is mercy of Krishna. That he is showing me how much attached I am to this material world. It is mercy of Krishna. He is trying to make me realize that I don't realize I am not this body, I am soul. You got my point? So a wise person will see mercy of God everywhere, even behind these attractions. But a fool will get disturbed by that. So that's how we learn. We learn from this word, slowly and steadily. Because we'll face many miseries and sufferings in this world, is it? There are many problems. So these problems, devotee thinks these problems are merciful. What can I say? Merciful reprimand. You understand reprimand? Merciful anger of Krishna. That's all. Krishna is trying to teach us. I gave that example. So if in temple, or not temple, if anywhere you are there, if some person comes, if he shouts at you, okay? So what you're supposed to think? A person who has read third chapter, well, you know what he'll think? He will think, actually Krishna is inspiring him to shout at me. He can't shout at you. Just like that. Krishna is in his heart. He is telling him, go and shout at him and beat him. So fool will think, this person is coming to beat me, he's my enemy, he's bad. Good and bad. But a person who has read third chapter Karma Yoga, he knows. Behind this scene, who is the director of the scene? Krishna. Don't forget the director. Don't be absorbed in this film. Krishna is the director. He has directed this person to me. He is inspiring this person to shout at me, beat me. Why? Because Krishna wants to teach me through this person. What he wants to teach me? He wants to teach me to become tolerant. That might be the case, no? He wants to teach me that in spite of all these sufferings, I should become tolerant. And in all these conditions, I should be able to remember Krishna. Got my point? He is trying to teach us to perceive the invisible hand of Krishna behind all this big movie. There's a movie going on, no? It's a movie. We have to look behind this. So that is Karma Yoga. You got my point? Karma Yoga is that art. Bhaktivedanta Thakur writes, Karma Yoga is an art. How to do actions in such a way that we can perceive the director of those actions behind them. That is Krishna. So he's a director. He's standing here, and he's a very beautiful director. You know, he directs all this movie, but he will never tell you I directed it. No, His name is not there. So all movies, director is this. But Krishna is so humble and so beautiful, he doesn't take the credit. He'll never take the credit. He'll never tell you, I'm directing this. I'm trying to teach you. He'll never come in front. That is why if you want to learn humility, you can learn from Krishna. Krishna is the humble of humblest. Isn't it? He's doing everything, but he doesn't speak anything. He's just standing. That's all. He never told you, see, I am helping you millions of lives. I am with you as a super soul. I am giving you blessings. I gave you prasad. You are getting so much prasad. No. He's in the back scene. So it is said by Vallabhacharya Vanacharya. He says, my Krishna is very gentle and very soft. Krishna is so gentle that when he used to walk in Vrindavan, he walks in Vrindavan, and when a leaf touches his body, there's a scar here. There's a mark. It leaves a mark. When you hit somebody, then you have a red mark, no? A red mark, that inflammation. Even if a leaf touches Krishna, there's a mark there. He's so soft and so gentle. He's gentle as a rose and soft as a coconut milk. Coconut milk, that white. He's that soft. He's like a butter. His heart is also like a butter. That's why he likes butter. He's thief. He's butter thief. So he's shy. He feels shy. That is why he doesn't talk to us. He's not talking to us because he's egoistic. I'm God. Why should I talk to you fools? No, he's very shy. He doesn't talk. He talks to them who have relationship with him, who love him. It's like that, no? A female doesn't talk to anybody. She'll talk to her husband, or maybe to people she knows. At least in India, not in America. In America, you can talk to anybody. But at least we all know that culture. The ornament of a female is her shyness. So she'll not talk. She'll talk to them, those people whom she loves. So Krishna talks to those people who he loves, because he's shy. He doesn't feel comfortable talking to them, to people who don't love him. So that's what Krishna is doing. Krishna, if you want to learn humbleness, learn from Krishna. That is Karma Yoga. You got my point? Karma Yoga. This is. I'm giving you an entire different perspective of Karma Yoga. You will not hear this, but this is a practical perspective. Karma Yoga. Okay, fine. So Gita should finish here. Finish, no? Krishna is God. He is humble. He is directing everything. We have to perceive Krishna behind this. But still Gita continues. 4th chapter. What is the 4th chapter? Transcendental knowledge. Why Gita continues? What Krishna has to say more? It's finished, no? Krishna has told Arjuna, you are not this body or soul. I am God. I am directing this whole movie. Whatever I say you should do, I want you to fight. That's all. Finish. But still he's continuing the 4th chapter. Why? Question is why? Now what else has to be told? Anybody? Want some question?
How to act?
Transcendental knowledge, 4th. Okay. You know what? In 2nd chapter, Krishna gave knowledge of soul. Hare Krishna. Yeah, just one small request and teaching. When lecture is going on and altar closes, you are not supposed to bow down. Keep in mind. Rupa Goswami says in Nectar of Devotion, when lecture is going on, katha is going on, altar closes, don't bow down. You know why? Because Krishna is not there. He is here. In his katha. His mind is here. Isn't Krishna is also hearing, no? You're hearing. He's not a stone. He's hearing attentively what this person is speaking. If I speak something nonsense, he'll punish me. And if I speak his thing, he wants to hear what I'm speaking. So his attention is here. If altar closes, you bow down, you disturb him. And he will say, my God, I'm hearing the lecture and you're bowing down to me, just be there, just here. So that's a rule, just by the way. So, okay. So 2nd chapter, Krishna gives knowledge of soul. This is 2nd chapter. 3rd chapter, Krishna tells Karma Yoga, how to apply this knowledge in this lab. 4th chapter, Krishna says, if you apply this knowledge sincerely in this word, not just keep on hearing in the classes, go and apply in the masses. If you can do that, then you will get realization. Fourth chapter is transcendental knowledge. That is why the name is transcendental knowledge. It's not knowledge. Transcendental knowledge means the knowledge which transcends three modes, is it? That is realization. In Sanskrit it is called aparoksh gyan. We have two knowledge, paroksh gyan and aparoksh gyan. Second chapter is giving paroksh gyan, theoretical knowledge. Second chapter gives theoretical knowledge. Third chapter tells us how to apply that theoretical knowledge. Fourth chapter tells us if you apply that knowledge, theoretical knowledge, you get wisdom and realization. There is a difference between realization and knowledge, is it? Everybody understands? Realization is called aparoksh gyan. What is the difference between realization and knowledge? Can anybody tell me? What is the difference? What is the difference between information and wisdom? Knowledge and realization.
Realization is experience. You get experience.
Okay. Realization means experience. Okay, good. Fine. Anything else? Yeah, fine. Anything else? What's the difference between knowledge and realization?
When you experience, you understand that the knowledge, you are able to connect with the knowledge.
So knowledge is kind of theory.
Okay, fine. You can say realization is applied knowledge. That's a good term. Applied knowledge. But there's a difference between knowledge and realization. You know what? If at the level of knowledge you can get confused, but at the level of realization you can never get confused because you have realized it. Got my point? That's how we distinguish whether I am platform of knowledge or realization. If you're getting confused, you don't have realization. This is practical definition of knowledge and realization. You understand? If you're getting confused, if you have doubts, you don't have realization. Because when you realize something, knowledge and its proof will come together. Just like for example, if I give you a pudding, you know pudding is people eat. Okay, if I give you a pastry, and if I tell you this pastry is very sweet, this is knowledge. And what is realization? You eat it and you taste that sweetness. So once you taste that sweetness of that pastry, you will never become confused, because now that knowledge, it is sweet, and the proof, it is sweet. You have experienced both, isn't? So it is said, at the level of realization, knowledge and the proof comes together. That is realization. You don't need any external evidence. That is realization. You don't need any external evidence. If you have realized, I am soul, I am not this body, you don't need any other certificate. You don't need proof from anybody. You know your soul, you are not this body. Got my point? Okay, let me ask you a question. We wear this shirt and clothes, all of you. Have you ever become confused that you are this shirt? Sometimes, 1 second. Have you become confused, anybody of you? In these 20, 30 years? Never, no? Never? You're sure? You sure, no? Never become confused, I am this shirt. Is it? This is called realization. So a person who knows I am this soul, I am not this body, he will never become confused, I am this body. He will not be pulled on the level of body platform. No matter how much busy he is, no matter whatever he is doing, he will never become confused. For him, this body is like a shirt. He knows it. He doesn't need any certificate, no evidence. Got my point? He doesn't have to put logics there. No logics. I know. If entire word, what is knowledge, what is realization? If entire word tells you are wrong, still you will not agree to them. That is called realization. Bhaktisiddhanta used to say, if I am the only person telling Krishna is God, and everybody tells me Krishna is not God, you're confused, you're wrong, still I will not believe them. That is called realization. You understand? That is realization. At the level of realization, you can't be shaken. Nobody can shake you. So 4th chapter is realization. Okay? You understanding, everybody? You getting point? 2nd chapter is knowledge. 3rd chapter is karma yoga, that is applying knowledge in lab. And fourth chapter is transcendental knowledge. Transcendental knowledge means realization. Okay, fine. So Gita should finish here. Finished, no? What else has to say? But we still have fifth chapter. Why Krishna is continuing Gita now? What else he has to God to say? What is the name of fifth chapter? Action in Krishna Consciousness. So Krishna says, Arjuna, when you get realizations, then you have to be very careful. A person who has no knowledge, no realization, he is much safer than a person who has realization. You got my point? You have to understand what I am saying. A new devotee is safer than a devotee who is advanced. A fool is much better than a wise person. That is one angle. You know why? Because when you become wise, when you get knowledge, when you don't have anything, no knowledge, you are happy. Just like this child. No knowledge, he is happy. No, ignorance is bliss. No problem. But when you get knowledge, two things will happen. First thing, if you do something wrong, you will be accountable for that. If you don't have knowledge, then you are not accountable, isn't it? If this child, whatever he does, we don't mind. He doesn't know. But when you know, then problem begins. Because then you have to act on that platform. Got my point? So it is better to be ignorant or to know things. Some people say it's better to be ignorant. Don't know, that's all. Then you can do anything. But this is bad logic because ignorance. People who have cancer, they take some medicines, chemotherapy. You know this, no? And that chemotherapy if they take, there are so many side effects. Okay? So if out of fear of side effects, that person doesn't take chemotherapy for cancer, for him, what is his destination? Death, no? So ignorance is bliss, but ignorance will lead you to hell. Knowledge, it might be dangerous, but it will cure you. So Krishna says, when you get realizations, when you advance in devotion, then you have to be very careful. Because just as realizations come, they also go very quickly. Is it? When people come to temple, people who come very quickly to temple, very quickly they leave. It's very easy to. So realizations, you have to safeguard it. Because if you don't safeguard realizations by continuous hearing and proper chanting, then you will lose them and will be back to square one. That's why many people, they do devotion. After many years, they become unenthusiastic. It happens, no? Initially, when we join, we are so enthusiastic. At least for me. At least for all of you, no? When I joined, then I used to be in Mangal Aarti at 2 o'clock. I used to run, and so my temple was, I was in Delhi and we had a temple in Noida, and the temple was 3 kilometers away. So I used to go Mangal Aarti walking. I was so enthusiastic. I used to get up at 1 o'clock, walk, reach the temple at 3 o'clock, and Mangal Aarti, yes. But now I can't even imagine doing that. So everybody was so enthusiastic, but slowly enthusiasm goes down. You know why? Because Krishna gives us a gift. When we are new, he gives us gift. What is that gift? Realizations. So when you are new, you will feel so nice, you will feel blessed. Krishna will enthuse you. Krishna will give you. But when you keep on coming, then Krishna expects that you should do some work from your own side. I'll not keep on giving gifts. So you do some work. So he'll give gift, but you have to safeguard that gift, that realizations, and then nurture that. So 5th chapter is action in Krishna consciousness. 5th chapter, Krishna is teaching us two things: to safeguard our realizations and to nurture our realizations, to increase them. Most of us, we can read entire Gita, but most of us are on 4th chapter or maybe 3rd chapter. Got my point? Most of us are on 3rd chapter. We are applying knowledge, realizations maybe less, or maybe maximum 4th chapter. We got some realizations, but we have to proceed to 5th chapter. Now we have to increase those realizations. Just like Realizations are like a baby, like this child. So you get a baby, that's a gift from God. But now you have to carefully safeguard him, her or him, and then you have to nurture them. You have to make them grow, is it? So you have to feed them and all those things. Similarly, you have to go deep in realizations. Don't be satisfied by this gift. Krishna gives gift to everybody. Everybody who is coming to temple, you are feeling peace and bliss, is it? That's why you're coming, no? It's nice. But don't be satisfied by that gift. That gift is some advertisement. And Krishna wants now you to now put efforts. And he has more gifts with him. And more surprises. But now you have to become qualified for that. That's the idea. So this is 5th chapter. 5th chapter is you have to go deep, increase our realizations. And okay, let me ask you a question. How to increase our realizations? How to safeguard our realizations? Okay, thank you. So what do you do? What do you do to safeguard your realizations and increase your realizations? Something you have to do, no? You have to advance, no? We can't be on the same platform. What should we do to protect our realizations? To increase our realizations? What's the only method?
Chanting and hearing.
Okay, yeah. Chanting in the association of devotees. That's the idea. You have to hear. You have to hear this Bhagavad Gita, this knowledge from many perspectives. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. Prabhupada has written a letter from India, and he writes there he writes to some devotees, read my books, read every verse of Bhagavad Gita very, very scrutinizingly. Read it. Don't read Bhagavad Gita, dig it. That I say. Dig Bhagavad Gita. And you'll find jewels. Some people are standing on the shore. They simply sit there and watch. Some people are floating. Some people are diving. But those who dive, they get jewels at the bottom. So those who float, they enjoy, but no jewels. And those who are on the beach, they can simply watch and go back home. For them, nothing. So you have to decide. You want to sit on the beach, you want to float, or you want to dive. What do you want to do? What do you want? Dive, yeah. So you have to learn how to dive. That's the point. You have to dive. Jiva Goswami says, birds can fly. And there is no limit for the sky. So it depends on you, how far you can fly. It depends on each of us. Nobody can help you in that regard. Even God cannot help. Srila Prabhupada says, God cannot help if you don't help yourself. We have heard that. God helps those who help themselves. He cannot help. He will not go against our will. He will not interfere in our will. If we don't want to advance, we can't advance. No devotee, no God, nobody can help us if we don't want to fly high. Even Guru cannot do. Guru is a guide. Krishna inspires. But decision is yours. Got my point? If you don't decide, nothing is going to happen. And now you can decide. If you can decide now, yes, I want to advance. I want to finish this business in this life. You have to finish this business. You have to meet Krishna face to face. That's our goal. That's a goal, no? That's a goal. We are not satisfied to come daily to temple. We want Krishna to talk. Do you want to talk with Krishna or not? Or you are happy? Krishna is not talking, I am happy. You are happy Krishna is not talking with you? If you are happy, if Krishna is not talking to you, there is a problem, serious problem with you all. There is no devotion if you are happy, Krishna is not talking to me. This is not devotion. This might be okay, fine. Initially it's okay, but there is no level of devotion. So, we are coming daily, we are going, we want Krishna one day. Krishna, I want that you should talk to me. I want to talk to you. I want to be with you. That's the idea. And that day will come. That day will come one day. If we want that day to come. That's all. That's all. We have to keep in mind. How many of us remember this goal of life that we have to talk to Krishna? No? We forget this, no? Our goal of life is to come to temple and do our sadhana. That's all. Do our chanting, and so don't forget the goal. Kriti sadhe bhaved sadhe bhava sa sadhana vida. Rupa Goswami says the definition of devotion, sadhana bhakti. Devotion is chanting and hearing. This is devotion, chanting and hearing. But Rupa Goswami says chanting and hearing with a goal. Not just in shooting arrows in darkness. That will not help us. It is easy. It is easy to remember all these things if you want. Don't forget your goal. So what's the goal of life? What's that? Can you repeat? What's our goal?
Meeting Krishna face to face.
Yeah, Prabhupada says meeting Krishna face to face. And that will happen when we develop love with Krishna. No? And Krishna will meet us. So yeah, that's our goal. Till that moment, we are not satisfied. We'll keep on increasing our efforts. Every day, every moment. And one day Krishna will become happy. He will say, oh, he's a good boy. Let me go and meet him. So that's 5th chapter. You got this point? 5th chapter. You have to nurture, increase your realization. 5th chapter is requesting you fly high. Dive deep. Don't do surfing. Don't just do that. Don't crawl. Run. That's 5th chapter. Action in Krishna consciousness. Action means efforts. Put efforts. Okay. Now Gita should finish here, no? What's 6th chapter doing? There's so many things Krishna has said. What he has to say more in 6th chapter? What is the name of 6th chapter? Dhyana Yoga. So Krishna is informing Arjuna, whatever you are doing in devotion, you are taking knowledge, realizations, you are advancing, do it attentively. Dhyana Yoga. Dhyan means attention. Got my point? Don't be inattentive. That's an offense. Inattentive while chanting? That's an offense. Do it attentively. Attentively means do service of Krishna, advance, focus yourself on the goal, and follow the instructions of the scriptures. Do it attentively. Don't procrastinate. Biggest fault of human. What is the biggest fault of human? Oh, yeah. This is said in Matsya Puran. Matsya Puran says there are 18 faults in any human. 18 faults, not 1, 2, 3, 18. You're full of faults. And the biggest fault is procrastination. You know what is procrastination? Postponing. Laziness. Chalo, I'll chant today. Tomorrow I'll chant. Maybe afterwards. Gita, you'll read it slowly. This is procrastination. No. This is the biggest fault of human, being lazy. If you can overcome this fault, Matsya Puran says, you overcome all faults. Just this. If you are simply active and not lazy, you can overcome all faults very easily. So that's what you have to keep in mind. 6th chapter is Dhyana Yoga. Krishna is saying, be attentive. Be attentive means don't procrastinate. Don't become lazy. Do it today. So if you have to read Gita, read today. Don't postpone for tomorrow. Okay, go and read. Okay, I'll finish Gita today night. I'll finish Gita. You should take a vow like there's no time in life. Really, there's no time. So you can read that. Okay, today I'll do night out. As students, we used to do night outs, no? You know night out? In examinations. So why not for Krishna? Life is an examination. Today I'll do night out. I'll finish entire Gita. Tomorrow we'll see. This is called enthusiasm. This is what is 6th chapter, Dhyana Yoga. So Krishna says to Arjuna, we have many techniques for giving attention. Just like Ashtanga Yoga. Krishna speaks about Ashtanga Yoga in Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter. There's a technique to become enthusiastic and be attentive. But Arjuna says, Krishna, this is not possible in this age. Krishna says, no problem. You forget the process, but take the principle. This is the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. Nobody could understand the secret. Krishna says, there's a process and principle. You got that point? If process is not really, you can't do that if it's difficult, forget the process, take the principle. You understand? For example, if suppose you have heart problem, then the doctor advises you should walk in the morning, isn't it? You should walk early morning, good walk, and your heart problem, you get relieved. Okay, fine. So the question is, why he's asking you to walk? So that your circulation increases, your heartbeat, your heart functions. Okay, if anybody understands this, he doesn't really need to walk on the road. The idea is to increase circulation. And that can also be accomplished by yoga. You got my point? A person who doesn't understand why he has to do this, he'll just keep on sticking to walking. And if he can't walk on road, then you go to gym on that machine and keep on running. But you have to run. But a person who understands the principle behind the process, we have to increase heart circulation of blood. We can achieve by some other thing also, yoga or something else, technique, okay? And he's a wise person. So 6th chapter, Krishna speaks about Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. Fine, Arjuna, you have to do this process, Ashtanga Yoga. By this you become attentive. Arjuna says this process is, oh, they are there. Naveen Prabhu? People are there. See, you can just go there. So, Krishna says, this process is there. Arjuna says, Krishna, you forget this process. I'll take the principle. And the principle is be attentive. That's 6th chapter. What you understanding? 6th chapter is asking you to be attentive. Don't waste your time. Be attentive in doing devotion. Be attentive in choosing devotees. What my point? Because everything depends on the association. So you have to be choosing association. How to choose devotees? You got Rupa Goswami saying we have Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, we have new devotees, advanced devotees. Whom we want to associate with? Advanced or new? Of course advanced. But what are the parameters which will help us to choose advanced devotees? How do we recognize? There has to be some scientific parameters, no? There are 4 criteria for taking good association. Always keep in mind. You have to see 4 things if you want to take association. The first is that devotee should be knowledgeable. Isn't it? Why we are associating? For knowledge? That's all. Otherwise there's no friend, no enemy. We have come here for learning. If somebody doesn't know anything, you can associate, you can be friends, but you can't really learn from them. So you have to choose a devotee who has knowledge. Okay? And the second is, he should be able to convey that knowledge. I might know things, but if I am not able to convey to you, what's the point? I might go to tuition to some teacher. He might know things, but if he is unable to teach, what's the point of taking the tuition? Is it? So the second qualification is, he should know things and he should be able to convey that in a manner which you can understand. Okay? And third qualification is, when you understand what he says, then you will have doubts. He should be able to free you from doubts. Because if I give lecture, if I convey my information, and if after my lecture you have doubts, and if I don't have answers, you end up becoming more confused than becoming more clear. So what's the point? So third qualification is that devotee should be able to answer your doubts and confusions. And the fourth is, what he speaks, he should follow. What he follows, he should speak. These 4 criteria, if there is in some devotee, take association. If you don't find a devotee like this, it's difficult, no? Sincere devotees. If you don't find a devotee like this, okay, fine. Then you can have association through books of Srila Prabhupada. You can read purports, but it's good to find devotees. You have to find devotees like this. You have to be attentive with whom you are associating, because you can associate with devotees, but you have to be careful. Devotees also have bad qualities. So with associating with him, you can imbibe knowledge also, and you can also imbibe bad things also. You have to be very careful in that. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, be careful. So you have to find these 4 criteria in a devotee. That's what is 6th chapter. 6th chapter is talking about how to choose devotees. You read properly, you will find. I'm not going into details, but that's, be attentive in choosing devotees, be attentive in association, be attentive in doing whatever you're doing. Attentive means, being attentive in doing things means asking why. That's the meaning of attentive. Okay, fine. I should be attentive while chanting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I should be attentive while pranam. Yeah, Prabhupada. That's not attentiveness. Attentiveness means you have to do with some logic. That will give attention, no? For example, as a child we used to read subjects. We used to read books, but we didn't have any interest. But as we grow, we start understanding that subject. And when we understand that subject, we find we develop interest. We develop interest, then we get attention. That's makes sense. So this is the point. When you do devotion, then if you understand the logic behind what you are doing, then you develop interest. When you develop interest, you develop attention. Why our mind is roaming here and there while chanting? Why? It's a problem, no, with everybody? Why? What's the question? What's the answer for this? Well, you might say it's Maya, it is blah blah blah, but that's not a, because we don't have interest in chanting. No, that's why mind is going to talk to subjects what we find interest in. Why don't we have interest? Because we don't understand what we are doing. We don't know logic behind what we are doing. And because we don't have knowledge, we don't have attention. No interest, no attention. So if you want to do good chanting, attentive chanting, what's the solution? Now you know the solution. Get more knowledge. Understand why you are doing what you are doing. That's the method to make your chanting good. Now you got my point? You can't concentrate on chanting just by concentrating. It will never happen. Okay, so this is 6th chapter. So Gita is finished? No, there are more things. So 7th chapter, 7th, 8th, 9th, 7th and 8th chapter, Krishna is telling about himself now. He is so merciful. To help us advance in devotion, he is revealing himself. Okay, I am happy with you. 2nd chapter, I gave you knowledge. You were sincere, you heard me. 3rd chapter, I asked you to apply that knowledge. You were sincere, you applied. 4th chapter, I have given you realizations. And 5th chapter, you have what gift you had, realizations. You safeguarded it, you nurtured it. 6th chapter, you were attentive. You were attentive while doing what you are doing. And now 7th chapter. 7th chapter is 8th chapter. 7th and 8th chapter, now I am telling about myself. I am happy with you and I am revealing myself to you. See, Gita is not chapters. Gita are stages of devotion where you are. You got my point? Don't view Gita as a book and with the chapters. You have to see on what chapter you are. Some people are on 1st chapter. The life, that's a stage of life. 2nd stage of life, 2nd chapter. Some people are stuck on 3rd chapter, some people 4th chapter, some people 5th chapter. You have to decide where you are stuck on. And you have to reach 18th chapter. So these are not chapters, these are stages of realizations. 18 chapters signify 18 stages of realizations. 18 steps to the temple of devotion. And that's how we approach this book. We don't approach this book as a book. This is Krishna. Don't see it as a book. And every chapter are steps. And 18th chapter is temple of Krishna. Temple is here, but here also. Real temple is here. Don't get confused. It is here. It's not only here. So you have to reach that temple. So once you reach 6th chapter, you do things sincerely, then Krishna will reveal himself. So when you chant, Krishna will reveal himself in your holy name. When you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna will reveal his form, his beauty, his voice, his smell of body. When you chant, you will be able to smell him. He will reveal himself. And that is 7th and 8th chapter. He's revealing himself. You understanding my point? You might say, well, I've read 7th, 8th chapter and I know Krishna. But you don't know. That's not, you know theoretically. He's not revealed to you. So most of us are in first 6 chapters. You understand? Most of us. First, you decide where you are. But that threshold you have to cross, 6th to 7th. That is why Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 parts. You have heard? First 6, second 6 and last 6. First to 6th chapter, 7 to 12th, 13 to 18. Why it's like that? You can say Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga. That's one thing. But why it is divided? Because there is a deep, what can I say? Khai ko kya kehte hain? What to say? Trench? Valley? Trench? There's a deep gap, there's a big gap between 6th and 7th chapter. You can't see here, but devotees will show you. There's a big gap. You have to cross that gap. From 6th to 7th. When you follow 6 chapters nicely, Krishna will give you mercy and He will reveal Himself to you. 7th, 8th. And the 9th chapter is unique. After He reveals Himself to you, what's the name of 9th chapter? What's that? The most confidential? Knowledge. Now Krishna in 9th chapter, He takes the opportunity to praise, to glorify His devotion. Entire word glorifies Krishna, but Krishna glorifies Bhakti. That's what Krishna is, no? All bow to Krishna, but Krishna bows to Srimati Radharani. That's why she is Bhakti Devi. You know this, no? So He always wants to glorify His devotion. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. He's glorifying devotion, Bhakti Devi. And He's happy to do that. He always want to do that. But to come to that point, He had to develop this theme. He's glorifying Bhakti Devi. That's what we have to do. We have to glorify Bhakti Devi. That's what He's teaching us. Don't glorify me. Glorify Bhakti. Don't focus on me. Focus on Bhakti. Our focus is not Krishna. Our focus is Bhakti. Bhakti means service. Service. We want to attain Krishna for service. If there's no service, no Krishna. We don't want Krishna. Oh, you know, okay, fine. You know, in Ramayana we have Ram, Lakshman. In altar we have Ram, Lakshman. Who else? Hanuman and? Okay. Why don't you have Shatrughan and Bharat? Are they bad guys? Why don't you have them? It's a good question, no? You ever asked yourself? I asked when I saw that altar first time. What, Bharat and Shatrughan, are they bad devotees? Are they not good devotees that they are not allowed in the altar? Why? Because Shatrughan and Bharat, they have a secret. And that secret should not be displayed to everybody. They are secret characters. And Shatrughan is special. And what is speciality in Shatrughan? Shatrughan, you know what happened Shatrughan? When Ram went to Vanvas, who followed him? Sita and Lakshman, is it? But Shatrughan didn't go with Ram. You know why? Why? Shatrughan, the name Shatrughan means, Shatru means enemy. Ghan means conquered, defeated. One who has defeated his enemy, he is Shatrughan. Shatrughan, he knows the biggest enemy of man is, what is the biggest enemy? Biggest enemy of man is we want to enjoy God, not material world. Many people want to enjoy matter. We think this is a problem. No, problem is we want to enjoy God. Got my point? So Shatrughan thought, if I go with Ram, that is for my enjoyment, no? That is for my enjoyment. I want to be with Ram for my enjoyment. But more than my enjoyment of being with Ram, is more important is his service, is to manage his Ayodhya. That was more important. No, there was nobody behind him. So he chose service and not Ram. That is what he is teaching. He has conquered his greatest enemy to enjoy God. And that is 12th chapter. Don't enjoy God. This is what Krishna is saying. You understand what we mean by enjoying God? We are also enjoying God, no? Sometimes we come here and we forget service and we start enjoying, no? We keep on taking from Krishna. Don't give him. We generally... So, but Bharat, Shatrughan is not like that. So, Shatrughan is teaching us, don't focus on service, not on God. That's the idea. Because, why? Because in service you will find God. Without service, there is no God. Understand? That is Gaudiya Vaishnavism. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why we want love of God? Our aim of life is love, to love Krishna. Why our aim is love? Can anybody tell me?
You can love him, you serve him.
Okay, fine. Can you explain more? Yeah, that's okay. Why our aim is love? Because without love, our focus is service. That's what 12th chapter says. Krishna is glorifying his service. But the point is, we are unable to serve God 24 hours. To make that service 24 hours, 24/7, we need love. Without love, it's a burden, no? Sometimes you can't do 24 hours. Just like a mother serves her child 24 hours. How? You are doing? You love her. You'll not do for any other child. You'll not do. For your child you'll do because you love him. Her. But your husband cannot do same thing, no? He'll become fried. Because she is not a part of his body. She is a part of your body. You don't feel her as different. She is you, no? So that is love. In love, you are connected with God. You feel he is mine, I am yours. I am told that I am yours and you are mine. And then you can serve him 24 hours. That is why our goal is love. To serve Krishna 24 hours and not just to love him and enjoy that love. There's a difference, no? We don't want to love Krishna for loving sake. We want to love Krishna for service. Everything else first. That is 12th chapter. And then, still Gita is not finished. Something is left. Krishna goes to 13th chapter. Why? It's finished, no? Love, Krishna, soul. Still Krishna has to say something. What? What is left? And then if you tell me what is left, then I'll leave you. It's finished. Lecture is finished. What more is left? So there is one thing. There are many obstacles on the path of devotion, on the path to achieve love. There are many obstacles we'll face, is it? So in 13th chapter, so what's the name of 13th chapter? Modes of nature. Is it? What's the name of 14th chapter? Oh, you don't remember those names? What's the name of 14th chapter? Oh, you should remember these. You can forget your name, but don't forget chapters. You don't forget Gita. We can afford to forget the name, our name, but don't forget Gita. What's the 14th chapter? And what is 13th? I think enjoyer, what's that? Nature enjoyer. 13th is nature enjoyer consciousness. 14th is modes of nature. What is the biggest obstacle on the path of devotion? Modes of nature. Our enjoying tendency. So 13th, 14th and 15th chapter. 13th and 14th chapter. Krishna is talking about obstacles in devotion. Got my point? Because we also have to keep in mind. 15th chapter is, what is the name of 15th chapter? Oh, you all forgot, huh? I have Gita. I think it's Yoga of Supreme. I think so. I remember that. I remember the Sanskrit name, but Yoga of Supreme, yeah, I got it. So 15th chapter, now Krishna is telling how to deal with these obstacles. That's 15th chapter. You have to deal also, no? That science he is teaching. 16th chapter and 17th chapter, Krishna is talking about when you deal with these obstacles, you will develop good qualities. What are the symptoms of a person who can deal with these obstacles? 16th chapter is, what's the name of 16th chapter? Divine and demoniac. If you can conquer these obstacles by the power of devotion, by the science, you will become divine. And demoniac qualities will go. And 17th chapter is divisions of faith. Your faith will become mature. And then 18th chapter, finish. 18th chapter, Krishna is summarizing. And then he gives conclusion. Sarv dharman paritajya. Now Arjuna is ready to accept the solution. The morality is not over devotion. Devotion is above morality. Because Krishna has now explained full science of devotion. Application, knowledge about himself, obstacles, how to deal with those obstacles and achieve love. Now Krishna is convinced, Arjuna is convinced, okay fine, now I understand devotion is above morality. He loses all attachment to morality, he surrenders to Krishna. This is Bhagavad Gita in summary. Hare Krishna.
Please talk about the books.
Any questions? Can you show me the books? I'll just finish. Any questions by the way? And then this is some preamble like to all of you. But some practical preamble. That's what I like to talk. I don't like to talk theory. There are so many theories. How many verses? What is the smallest chapter of Bhagavad Gita? Anybody knows? Oh, yeah, 12th chapter, 20 verses. And also, 12th, yeah. I think 15th also, probably. 20 verses, I don't know. Okay, what is the first verse of Gita? Can anybody tell me? No. What's the first verse of Bhagavad Gita? You're right, but. What's the first verse? It is not Dharma Kshetre because it is said by Sanjay. Gita is a song of Krishna. So, you have to keep in mind, because if you go to scholars in India, if you debate with them, and if you use the Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, that's the first verse, they'll say, get out. I don't even want to talk to you. You don't know Gita. First verse is that verse spoken by Krishna. Second chapter. What is the first verse of Krishna? Yeah, second, 12th verse. 2.11, 2.12. 2.10. Okay. No. Kutasva Kashmalamitam. That is Krishna is becoming angry on Arjuna. Instructions begin with second chapter, 12th verse. 2.11. Yeah, okay. Second chapter, 11th verse. That's the first verse. If you can, second 12 or second 11. Krishna says, Gatasura Gatasumsha Nanu Shochanti Pandita. Arjuna, you're fool. Because you're lamenting for those who have left. So that is second chapter, 11th verse, first verse of Gita. Officially, it is Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. But when anybody asks what is the first verse of Gita, that is first verse. These are some things you have to keep in mind when you debate with people, when you preach. Otherwise, you can normally say Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. That's not wrong. But when you really come in preaching field, then you should be armed. Okay, that's the first verse, second, 12. But actually, this is not the first verse of Gita. First verse is second 2.12, where Krishna starts his teachings. Dehinosmin yathadehe. This is he simply scolding. Yeah, 2.12. Okay, so this is information. Even if you don't know this, it doesn't matter. But you should know the science of Gita. I was just asking you. That's okay. So anyway, I'll just finish here. And these are some books here with me. This is Bhagavad Gita. Mighty Efforts. Many things are there, but I've spoken now about this laboratory and application. No, all this science I've explained in this book, Mighty Efforts. And then we have a book, Crazy Ideas. You can just take some books. Crazy Ideas means you will face all this. What is the first verse of Gita? All these things, people. So you should know it. This information is there. Many other things, many other arguments you will face from people. Why to read Gita? Why to do meditation? Why to chant? Basic questions, and you should have solid answers. Why to follow ISKCON? Why to follow Krishna? These are some basic questions, and you should be ready with answers. All those answers are there in this book. And this is one book, Cheaters and the Cheated. This is telling about how society is cheating us, and we are cheating ourselves. But behind all this cheating, who is there? The greatest cheater, Krishna. He is also there. If you cheat others, Krishna will cheat you, and he will really cheat you. He will screw you up if you try to cheat Krishna. So this is about this, and we have some Hindi books. This is one seminar which I have been giving 2-3 days. Tomorrow anyway I'm going. Core concepts of devotion. Core concepts which you should know. I'm talking so many things here. It is there in the CD, and we have some Hindi CDs you can take. Oh, this is one CD of Gita. What I've been talking now on Gita, but this is in Hindi. So if anybody wants, they can take. So these books are there. If you take 2 books, this CD is free. Bumper offer. It's said like that. Anyways, for Damodar. You can take the CD free if you take 2 books free 2 books. And thank you very much for listening to me. It's too much time, but